Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with the Last Huntsman channel here, and today I have the honors to do a review on a knife I've been testing out for a while actually. And that's why I've been kind of slow at getting this video out, and I've had, a lot of things come up too. We all live real lives here. But the knife I'm talking about, this ain't the sheath that came with it, but this is the Exodus Knife and Tool Adventure Craft. It's designed by Jacob Peterson with the Prepper's Bunker Outdoors. So definitely check his channel out. But also check out his, I'm sure it's going to be a website soon, but check out this knife and check out the Exodus Knife and Tool. That's his company. So let's get testing on this blade. Alright, so with this Exodus Knife and Tool Adventure Craft, as you're going to see, it's actually a fairly small little knife. I mean, it's thin and narrow. It's 1/8 inch thick. It's made of 1085 carbon steel, which Jacob's thought process with this was 1085 is a good hardy steel. It's not hard to sharpen. It holds an edge fairly decently, but if you're out here in the bush, you can still find ways to sharpen it, and it's not it's not brittle at all, really. It's just a good hardy, just classic steel. Now, as you can tell though, the whole knife is narrow. I mean, just to compare it, this is it. This is an Essie Azula. So, or another one here, have an SE3 here. So I mean, it's very narrow, and with that being said, it works really good for certain things like skinning and really fine tasks. Though it can be kind of awkward to hold this knife, but I found a way that I've found to hold this knife is, instead of, if you just grip it in your palm of your hand and try to grab it like your typical knife, it's going to cramp up your hand, obviously. What I have found is right here in the meaty part of my first area of my fingers here, I set it there, wrap my fingers around it, and then grip it like that, and then hold it. And it actually is fairly comfortable to work with after a while. Oh, and I've worked with this knife for hours now, and hell, even days, and it doesn't really bother my hand like this and I grip it like that. And so with this narrow little knife, it actually can be a decent little work knife if you just know how to manipulate it and grip it right. Alright, a task I'm going to do with this Adventure Craft is I'm going to make me some notches here. Just going to start off with a square notch. And find as narrow as this knife is, I'm not sure if I can pop it out. See, that's something else too. I can really just get in there and whittle exactly what I want with this knife. You have a lot of control with a small knife like this. It's why it also makes a great skinning knife. And I'll show a little bit of that throughout the video too. A little square notch. Let's make just a quick little regular notch. Something that you'd use for like tent stakes, just for the hell of it. And as you can see, the Adventure Craft does pretty well at making some notches. Alright, so I'm going to do some batoning with this. I'm not going to go anything crazy. I mean, as you can tell, this ain't a super big piece, but quite frankly, this knife's not really much of a batoner knife, but I like to test things to their fullest abilities. So we're gonna just see what I can get. This is a piece of cedar, so it's not particularly hard to baton, but sometimes it can be a little harder than what you would think, just because it can be just so knotty. Like what I'm dealing with right now. Alright, gotta break this down into a smaller piece here. Alright, so utilizing the 90-degree spine here, I'm gonna see how well this thing scrapes some bark. And you could always use this for a tender fluff if it's dry enough. Sometimes out here in my neck of the woods, it rained just like it actually rained just yesterday. So I don't think I could really effectively use this for tender. As you can see, there's some nice fluff right there. Thing can debark really well here. Just have so much control with that thin little knife. So you hit a knot. Alright, so something I'm not going to do with this Adventure Craft knife is I've done just about every type of bushcrafty work type of task that I can think of right offhand. I've skinned with it, I've done on bushcrafty type of stuff with it, and this knife is perfect for any small task like that. What I'm not going to do though is I'm not going to do any of like the typical tactical things, or like smacking on some trees, or doing, you know, stab testing and stuff like that, because quite frankly this knife's not designed for that. This thing's so tiny and so little that it's not meant for that in even the slightest. Overall, this knife performs really great. As you guys can see in the video, it does feather sticks, it does everything that you want to do work wise. Amazing for just such a small little blade, and it's so handy. I mean, hell, you can make this into a little mini boot knife if you need to, which would be actually kind of an awesome concept, really. But I keep it in, this is in my backpack all the time now, and it's just because it's so handy and it's so small that I just throw it in my backpack. I a lot of times even keep it in my fire kit just because it's so small, it doesn't take up any space, that it's always there if I need, you know, something to work with. And has a 90-degree spine, so, you know, it's a perfect little fire kit knife. With all that being said, I like this knife a lot. I think it has a lot of potential, and, you know, I hope Jacob can get Exodus Knife and Tools with quite a few new models. I think it would be really awesome. With all that being said, be prepared, both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.